Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Aphrodite, aka Madam Suave. If you are new here, I would like to welcome you to the community. Be sure to check the description box below and like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to. Remember that energy is timeless and fluid. This could be past, present, or future energy. Flip roles if they need to be reversed, and only take what resonates, leaving the rest for what it's meant for. So first, I do apologize. We are back off camera today. I need to preserve my storage, okay? And I literally, took some time to kind of clear it one day. And it had been so long since I seen that amount of storage in my phone. And I don't know what happened, okay? It filled back up. So anyways, I gotta go take some more time and clear it again because it is getting out of hand. Anyways, we don't have time to talk about this. But yes, that way I do not have to worry about the quality when I export, all right? But anyways, to the message, okay? You are breaking free from unwanted responsibility and situations that create limitations. And if this is something that you are not already doing, this is something that Spirit is calling for you to do, okay? I always forget that maybe some of the things, it's like I talk about it as if you guys have already done it. But like I said, if this is something that you are moving into, kind of just place it where it needs to go and just take it as, some sort of advice for you, all right? But you are breaking free from unwanted responsibility and situations that create limitations in the way that you live, express yourself, and the way that you think. So something that you thought would never see the light of day is coming true. This took a lot of discipline, contemplation, emotional growth, and maturity, an act of your dedication and sacrifice. So you are moving in a direction where your actions reflect your character, heart, soul, and integrity, honoring your emotions as well as your mental capacity, free will, and freedom. So there is a heaviness that has been building up in your sacral. Now, for some of you, this could be because, like I said, for some of you, this is something that you have not began doing. For others of you, this is something that you have already completed. So this heaviness that is building up in your sacral could be a call, and I mentioned it later, but it's kind of like a call to action, okay? A call to action, and you are being called to honor these things that I just listed off previously, okay? But what I was getting is there is a heavy weight or heavy decision or emotional burden. So either you can like physically feel this, or it's some sort of more like an energetic thing that you are feeling, okay? But you do feel a heavy weight. So whether that is something that, because for some people it's like when you feel things, it can actually show up in your body. And then for others, it may just feel something to where it's like your energy feels off or different, or it feels heavier than normal, okay? So this heaviness that has been building up in your sacral, okay, this is like a heavy weight, heavy decision, or emotional burden that you've been holding onto, getting ready to be released. And kind of the best way that I can describe it is like, it's almost like you had a monkey, okay? And now a monkey could be any sort of problem or burden, something that you felt was holding you back or holding you down, okay? It's like a monkey clinging to you that will not let go, okay? So you've weighed the pros and cons, possibilities, outcomes, and seem to be deciding that balance is a priority for you, or you're in a space and time where that is what you are most seeking and wanting to maintain, because you know that it plays a crucial role in the way that life unfolds from there, all right? I was hearing there's more here than there needs to be. You guys are going to have to kind of know what that means. But remember how I said, and this is so funny because this is so funny, okay? Because I was also hearing freeing up space, okay? But there's more here than there needs to be. And I literally just talked about how I need to clear out my phone. But so I don't know what that means for you guys, okay? But I know that you guys will know whatever that does mean for you. But there's something slowing you down, okay? We've talked a lot about decision energy. So it seems like maybe what I'm kind of getting is maybe you have made some sort of decision, okay? Because I was getting that this is important for your growth and faith, walking in virtue and righteousness, okay? Those were the key words, virtue and righteousness. Yeah. So for some of you, and I mentioned this. Okay, I mentioned this later, but I mentioned it in a different way. But I just had another sudden epiphany, okay? There is something that maybe you have been, it's like, because at first I was saying there's something that you need to say, but for some of you, it's like there's only so much that you can say, and now it is about action, okay? It is about action, because when we talk about virtue and righteousness, that is not something that, virtue and righteousness is something that is shown. You know what I'm saying? It's something that is shown, living in virtue and righteousness, right? So something requires less speaking and more doing, okay? Less speaking, more doing. You have an unstable energy around you. Oh my God. But there is an unstable energy around you that is destabilizing you, and you are shielding yourself from any backwinds, okay? Now, whatever that energy could be for you is going to be for you to know. So something that you are moving away from, because we do have what, Saturn energy out here. Yeah. For some of you, this energy is kind of you battling your old self and it's like your present self, okay? It is kind of what I'm getting. Could be that unstable energy, like a conflict within yourself could be what is the unstable energy, okay? But there is an invisible but very strong layer of energy surrounding you for protection. And this can be both seen and felt, okay? Because of how strongly it is radiating off of you. And I am going to input some images just so you can kind of see a picture image of what I mean. But more so what I get is it's almost like you are protecting your aura, or you are being very intentional with your aura, okay, and maintaining your aura and what energy that you are emanating at this time. Because like I said, this can be both felt and seen, right? This is something that can be picked up on by others. But I was hearing it is time for you to spring forward, okay? You are being more intentional about listening, or you are in a period of listening with intention and following after your spirit and soul and where they are guiding you. So for some of you, you are working on strengthening your connection, okay? So like I said, right now is about action. So what I was also hearing is spring into action, okay? You may be becoming more active in your faith. The other thing that I was saying is for some of you guys, it's like you are saying something but not doing enough. And then for others of you, there's something that needs to be vocalized or released, because this is disconnecting you from your heart or causing you to feel impure. So this could be something that you have been praying about, talking to God, a father figure, or higher guidance. For some of you, this is a pastor, okay? And what I'm getting is that they told you that this is needed for a change that you are seeking. And one thing that I always sometimes forget, okay, and I was gonna wait till later to mention it, but one thing that sometimes I always forget is that I am constantly interceding prayers and messages, okay? So sometimes I am not necessarily talking to you guys. I am more so having a conversation with God. So sometimes when I say, oh, someone is doing this to you, sometimes it's that someone is doing something to God and I am speaking on behalf of God, okay? And then and this I obviously know, but like when I'm saying you've been speaking, to a pastor or something, or they already told you this, it's like maybe they did not tell you this and this is being told to you because this is something that you have been praying about or wondering, like what is it that you need to do, okay? So but I was also hearing burning ears, okay? And so this reminded me of Moses and the burning bush. So you sense the urgency behind what God is telling you. You can feel the anger or his wrath, but this is love, okay? This is love with discipline. And so you know that in order for you to get out of what's hindering or binding you, you must listen and obey, okay? The commandments are relevant, so God is commanding you. For someone here, you are having anxiety, and this is God tugging on you, okay? Because you know that you cannot rest until this is done. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. In order to rest, your heart must be right with Christ. And also for some of you guys, this is how someone feels in your presence, or maybe a lot of people feel like this in your presence, okay? But there is someone who feels like they can rest around you, okay? There is something that is very healing about your energy, something that is very calming about your energy, okay? So I was also hearing no rest for the wicked. Now, for some of you who I'm talking to, it is not that you are wicked, but aiding and abetting wickedness or some sort of offense against Christ, essentially enabling and also an accomplice. For some of you guys, you are already recognizing this. For others of you, this is something that you are being called to recognize. So they are non-compliant, so you are saving yourself. It's kind of what I was getting. For those of you who have already made a decision, now this is a literal crime for someone, okay? And I mean like a physical crime, okay? We're not talking about spiritual, we're talking about this as maybe literal, okay? And maybe you are someone who are of the faith, or you're kind of trying to restore your faith, and maybe you have, maybe you're someone who, you have friends, you still have friends who you are connected with, who maybe you guys live very different lifestyles, but it's like you guys are still connected, you still have love for that person, you're someone who you are very loyal, okay? There is something higher in store for you, and you are being given the strength to overcome this fear and what is plaguing your minds. So you may be battling between what is morally good and evil, or you knew that something was wrong and you are choosing to do the right thing, no longer allowing negative influence in your life or to dictate your life, okay? Because these are not your consequences to bear. So what I was seeing is that there is like an angel and a devil sitting on both shoulders, and you are receiving the inclination that if you don't listen to this angel, that you will be punished for it or get caught in a cycle. So what I was hearing was dry season, okay? Dry season, dry spell, or having to find your way out of the wilderness. You are being cautioned not to take this lightly and beware of deception, hidden agendas, or manipulations. But I was also getting, for some of you guys, you are not taking this lightly, and it's a decision that you have made between you and God. So someone may be pressing you, begging, or pleading, but you are shunning them out, or someone is pleading with God, but he's not listening. Okay, this is the point where I realized, okay, this is actually intercession. Okay, this is an intercession. I don't know if this song is relevant. I think it's literally called Begging and Pleading by Brandy, but that's what popped into my mind. Okay, there's a song. Yes, so like I said, but he is not listening, okay? They are hard of hearing, and when you cannot hear or don't listen, other measures have to be taken, okay? So God is standing his ground, and so are you. As long as you walk with him and obey his commands, you'll be all right, okay? So you are proving your loyalty to God. Your ancestors are crowning you, and when I tell you, this was such a beautiful and proud moment, like I could feel how proud they were, okay? So you may be feeling their presence at this time, but your unwanted responsibilities are being replaced with a much greater responsibility and honor. And this is a part of your initiation. So congratulations and best wishes to you on your new journey. I was hearing increase and expansion. So you are defeating yourself and saying goodbye to the old version of you. And kind of what I was getting, for some of you, you are undergoing a spiritual baptism, or your spiritual baptism, okay? Believing in the power of truth and the truths that God reveals to you when you trust in him. So you only want what fulfills your soul, and the strength of your faith is agitating them. They say, stump on the devil's head, okay? Behold, I give unto you power and authority to trample on snakes and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means harm you. They know that they are about to be trampled because they are bound to the ground and fail to rise to the occasion. So you don't want anything getting in the way of your new beginning, or you feel like there is something at stake here, okay? But you are being cautioned to be both mindful and careful at this time, all right? So that is the message for today. I hope that you guys got something from this message. I hope that it brought you a little bit of clarity. I hope that it gave you what you needed. If you enjoyed this message, if you got anything, if you enjoy my content, my energy, my channel, etc., I do ask that you like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to. And I'll see you guys on next time. Love you all. Bye.